It's the Tony Tone Show on Muscatine's Vintage Sound, 93.1 FM, Sunday night, 9 o'clock Central on CNN. It's the new season of The Wonder List, hosted by Bill Weir, who you may remember is the host of Nightline on ABC for a little bit. Let's listen to this preview of the show, and then we'll talk to Bill.
Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. And tomorrow morning, we're going to try to climb that. Look at love!
Join the adventure as some of the world's most amazing places battle the forces of change.
Look at this.
Hold on to the wonders of today. The Wonder List. New season starts Sunday, March 20th at 10, only on CNN.
All right, watch it this Sunday night, and right now on the MPW Digital TV Celebrity Hotline, Bill Weir. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, man, how are you? Welcome to the great state of Iowa.
It's good to be back in the great state of Iowa. You know, I started my first TV job was the Mason City, Rochester, Austin market. So
no way.
I miss you guys.
That is awesome, dude. Maybe you should you should take the Wonder List through the state of Iowa because we have a lot of stuff here, Bill. We got a lot of stuff.
I have a Tumwa on maybe season 3.
Yeah,
maybe. We'll see.
Well, if you think to put Muscatine on the on your radar, we would appreciate it. Congratulations on season 2 of the Wonder List. I was just watching the trailer, and I just first want to say how jealous I am because you get to go to some unbelievable destinations, buddy.
Yes, I've given up all rights to ever bitch about my job again. I do get a lot of jealous looks, but you know what? I'm so lucky or blessed or however you want to call it, and I pinch myself every time I get on a plane. But I also take the responsibility that comes with that and try to tell some important stories while we're out there having fun.
And that's what I was going to say. So the jealous coworkers aside, you really are hitting the road and meeting people from all walks of life and their stories on how they deal with change. And I'm assuming, Bill, that a lot of these people, without giving anything away, it's probably tough for them to embrace change, isn't it?
Well, it's tough for any human being, right? It fascinates us, it frightens us, and but we're living in such an era of seismic change, right? When I was born, there was like 3.5 billion people on the planet. Now there's 7. We're headed towards 9 by the time my daughter's my age. So there's so much going on in the world, and the idea of the series was to kind of pick the spots that we all agree are special as they exist today and try to see what's at work there. And sometimes it's environmental and sometimes it's social. You know, I went to Iceland because it looks like they're giving up on the whole concept of marriage. They lead the world in single mothers, so I wanted to explore that. You know, Cuba, which we're starting the season off with, the obvious changes there. They're about to get flooded with American tourists, and I wanted to talk to Cubans about that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's a chance in this hot political season to sort of look around the world with curiosity and a bit of empathy instead of constant suspicion.
And it seems like a lot of these places that you get to go, Bill, they want to preserve, natural beauty or whatever. So that's got to be perhaps their greatest challenge is when somebody comes in and says, oh, yeah, that landmark or whatever, that's great. But have you ever thought about a strip mall right here? I mean, that, right? It's like, why do we have
Absolutely.
We don't need to Americanize everything.
No, and I find myself seeing these places with those eyes, right? I go to Machu Picchu, and you look around and go, man, you could put the infinity pool right there and the golf course over there. But, in some places, poverty is such an issue, and they think like mass tourism and, the American style of commercialism is their ticket to a better life. And who are we to say it's not? We have our flat screen TVs. Who's to deny the people in Peru or Bhutan those things? But at the same time, we be careful what you wish for, right? That's the other thing I try to impart is, if you embrace a hotel here and you give up your life as a fisherman to tend bar, it's going to change everything.
Right. Yeah, I mean, especially if you trade off a job that you love. I mean, that can be tough. If you're just tuning in, that's Bill Weir, host of The Wonderlist, Season 2 on CNN. Bill, an obvious question is, you travel to all these places. I'm assuming that you've encountered some strange foods and drinks. What was something that you were perhaps a little apprehensive on trying, but you ended up loving?
Well, that never goes together. Usually if I'm apprehensive, it's everything I can do to keep it down because the camera's on. Up in the Himalayas, yak is their primary source of warmth from the fur and meat, and they make this yak butter tea that's like a curdled, greasy, rancid sort of smelling tea.
Ugh.
And I'm pretty good. I can put down anything, but that's as close as I've ever come to losing it. And then in Iceland, you go to a restaurant in Iceland, and you'll find there's horse on the menu,
Ugh.
whale meat, puffin. So part of it is Bourdain has the whole culinary thing covered, so I don't go too deep into these, but occasionally, right. And then in the first season in Vanuatu, they have something called kava, which is sort of like their booze. It's their all-body Novocaine. It comes from a root that they chew up and then spit this pulp into an old flour sack and then strain that into a drink. And I'm still haunted by that.
I was going to say, yeah, that sounds a little intense. So, Bill, listen, I wouldn't have judged you if you would have yacked after eating the yak. I think that would have been very, very symbolic. But yeah, I mean, it's such a cool opportunity that you have, and for us on the other end as the viewer, to kind of vicariously live through you. But at the end of the day, Bill, it's about the story that you're telling, right? I mean, it's the cool exotic location, but it is the story and the people that you meet.
Absolutely. I mean, this is not a show that's all about travel porn and look at these vistas and look at this amazing hotel. There are plenty of people who do that better than I, but I'm a journalist, and I've been sort of a slave to the well-told story my whole career, and the opportunity CNN gives me to say, yeah, just go to a country and hang out for a couple weeks and see what you find. That, as a storyteller, as a journalist, is such a gift because, for example, I went to Cuba. After 5 days, I thought, I kind of have Havana figured out, but I stayed for another 10, and the hour I rode after that, 15 days was much different. I met so many more people. I found so many more characters than I would have if I'd have done the typical in and out parachute in story,
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that is what we're hunting for. Ultimately, it's the story we want to tell, and it affects the most amount of life, the most amount of people, wildlife, these amazing places. But you understand them through the eyes of the fisherman or the bartender.
I think it says a lot about you, and the stories are great. I know you got to go. Bill Weir, The Wonderlist, Season 2 on CNN. Thank you for the time, and you're always welcome back in the great state of Iowa, buddy.
Thank you, Tony.
Talk to you soon, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Yep, you bet. Bye.